We're going to go live here real quick. I'll set the room back up and we'll get going. We're going to go live here real quick. I'll set the room back up and we'll get going. The volume, there we go. All right. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might happen to be coming in from this fine Wednesday morning, whatever. Here in the East Coast of the U.S. in South Carolina. My name is Jay Handler. I am a coach, a consultant, a speaker, and I work with business owners, chambers of commerce, trade associations, folks who are frustrated with the state of where their business or their organization currently is. You know, most business owners start their business underfunded and overwhelmed. You know, not knowing that there's a different skill set required to get that business from zero to successful, whatever success looks like for each individual, right? The vast majority of business owners started off working for another company. You know, I like to use Jay the plumber as my example, right? So Jay's been working for years for Nikolai's Plumbing.
Nikolai,
And
how are you?
what's that? Oh, all right. Open mic situation, no worries. So, so Jay's been working for years for Nikolai's Plumbing Company and making a ton of money. Jay is his best plumber, making a ton of money from him, get a lot of referrals and all of this stuff. And yet, every morning when Jay comes into the parking lot, he sees Nikolai driving this gorgeous car, wearing fancy clothes, nice jewelry, taking vacations, you know, has a nice house, has boats and all the toys you can imagine. And Jay isn't making a ton of money. He's out there busting his butt. He's doing all the work, and somebody else is getting rich off of his work. That's the mentality that most business owners bring into starting their business. They don't realize that there's a different skill set required. You know, you can be the best wrench turner at Nikolai's Plumbing. That doesn't mean you know anything about how to run a plumbing business, right? Two different things. And I got stuck with it myself. I got hit with it. My first three businesses were exactly the same situation. You know, I saw all these other people getting wealthy, doing all of this work. I was the one doing the work. Why am I not getting wealthy? And so I would start a business and I would try and do it myself. And it wasn't until my third, basically failed business that I finally realized, you know what, there's only one common denominator, and it's this guy. What am I doing wrong? What in the world am I doing wrong that I can't get these businesses off the ground? They're great ideas. They're great industries. I see people making money. Why isn't it working for me? And about that time, I went to a networking event and I met a business coach. And she saw the frustration on my face. I went up and talked to her after the session or after the networking function. And lo and behold, she showed me, Jay, it's not the business. It's not the customers. It's not the economy. It's none of that. It's you. You're standing in the way. You're blocking your own success. And at first I got offended. Like, you don't even know me. How could you possibly be making that kind of a statement, that kind of an assumption? You don't even know me. I even said something to that effect. She said, you know what? You're right. I don't know you. Or maybe I do. And then she started to rattle off what she knew about me. It wasn't specifically about me, but it was. She said, you're frustrated about your business right now, aren't you? I said, well, yeah, obviously. She says, you're frustrated because you started this business, thought it was going to take off, thought you were going to be, you know, on easy street in 6 months. And here you are 6 months later, 12 months later, 18 months later, and it's not going the way you want it to go. You're out there screaming all the time on social media. You're promoting, but nobody is saying yes. Nobody's coming to you. You're not generating leads. Well, yeah, okay. And she went on and she kept going and she kept going. And it felt like it was 3 hours. It was probably about 10 minutes. But she went on and on and on, showing me that she actually did understand me. maybe not me specifically, but my situation, where I was as a business owner. And she showed me that she could help. She was my first business coach. And she was the one that helped me start to put together the skill sets required to become a successful entrepreneur. And it's because of her that I ended up becoming a coach. And it's because of her that I have, the success that I've had over the years. I've had other coaches. She and I, we didn't grow apart, but we both agreed that I had gotten pretty much everything I was going to get from our relationship. And so we're still friends. We still connect. We still talk. We coach for each other occasionally. But I moved on to somebody with a different set of experiences who could help me a little bit differently, help me with new things that weren't in her experience. So it was this step-by-step process that helped me to get there. The challenge is, and I'm thankful for it, don't get me wrong, because as a coach, I need business owners to be dysfunctional, right? I need your business to be broken in order to make money as a business coach. I need your business to be broken, but I don't need it to be destroyed. In fact, frankly, thankfully, that's usually not the case. I've been doing this for a very long time. And I will tell you that out of the thousands of people that I've coached, consulted, trained, talked to, whatever, the very, very, very vast majority of them, they didn't have a complete reclamation project. It wasn't like we had to start from scratch. The business is just shattered. No. They were doing, and I suspect you are doing, smart things. You're probably doing almost everything, and you're probably doing almost everything right. Because some of it is intuitive. The reality is very few are doing it all, and very few are doing it all very well. What that means is that as a business coach, I can come in just like my coach did for me, my first coach did for me. I can come in and show you where there are tears, fractures in your business. And then I can show you how we can triage them and how we can fix them, repair them, and get you back out there as quickly as possible, making the kind of money that you deserve to make. The challenge that comes up, the reason that people don't have a coach, and be honest with yourself. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Zoom, doesn't matter. Be honest with yourself. The reason that you don't get help when you know that you could use it, when you know that it would help you get where you're going much more quickly, the reason you don't get that help is because it costs more money than you're willing to put out there, right? It's not free. Well, let's rephrase that. It is free. You can get business coaching absolutely free of charge. Just go to YouTube University. You go to YouTube and search anything you want and you'll find answers. Part of the problem is most business owners don't really know what questions to ask. They don't know what's missing. So how do I find out what's missing if I don't know what to look for? On top of that, you just don't know who you're dealing with. There's really not an easy way to vet all of these different YouTube content providers, right? They don't make it easy to connect with them. I will. Matter of fact, if you're watching on YouTube right now, you can go to the very bottom in the description. While you're down there, hit the subscribe button. Why not? But in the description, you'll see I've got 2 links for you. One is to sign up for this daily session so that you can be here with us on a regular basis on Zoom. If you want to, join in on the Zoom, be live. The other link is to schedule some time one-on-one with me. I'd love to chat with you. It's free. It's my honor. It's my treat. I would be happy, thrilled to invest 30 minutes in finding out how I can help you, if I can help you, giving you the solutions that you need. Most content providers don't offer anything like that. Most coaches don't offer anything like that. So when you go on YouTube and you start searching, A, you don't know what you're looking for. B, you don't know who's reputable and who's not. You don't have any way of really talking with them, communicating with them one-on-one. So you can't get a feel for, does this person resonate with me? You're just going through video after video after video looking for solutions. And that's the other problem, is that you're going through video after video after video. And I don't know, I'm not a YouTube expert. All right. Somebody out there is going to know these numbers. What's the average number of videos that somebody looks at when they're trying to find the answer to a question? I don't know the answer to that. I have no idea. Figure it out. We can do a quick search and find it. But what's more important is that when you start doing that, when you start going out there and looking for advice everywhere and anywhere, and you start watching all these different videos, you're going to see Nikolai telling you, this is my process. And you're going to see Colin saying, this is my process. And you're going to see Jay saying, this is my process. And you're going to see Scott saying, this is my process. You're going to take the best of each of them and try and smush them together. Because, well, Nikolai's ideas were solid. Scott's ideas were solid. Jay's ideas, Kristen's ideas, Colin's ideas, great ideas. I'm going to squish them all together and make this brilliant concept, this brilliant process. The challenge is that when you start taking something from my program and something from that program and something from that program, and you start trying to stick them together, they're not all made by the same manufacturer. The parts aren't exactly customized to fit together the way that they should. So when you start, imagine you're a mechanic and you're trying to, fix a car. If you're trying to fix a Toyota, the chances are you're not going to use a whole lot of Ford parts. You're not going to use a whole lot of Chevy parts. Why? They're not made to go together. And if you could figure out how to jerry-rig them together, and you probably could, you could get them to go together, but would they be seamless? Would the engine work if it didn't have closed systems, if they were just kind of closed? Would the engine work if the pistons kind of fit? You know the answers. That car would be a danger on the road. And the exact same thing happens in your business. You go out there looking for all these different answers, you find them, you try pushing them together, and what you end up with isn't one simple process, isn't a business that's sustainable. What you build is what I call Frankenstein's business, right? Everybody remembers the story of Frankenstein's monster, right? What did he do? He went out there and took pieces and parts from all these different, and put it all together and created this one monster. It wasn't a monster, so to speak. He was, again, because he was misunderstood, he was chastised and chased around by the townsfolk and all that. But what are we talking about here? Why was he so different? Why was he broken in comparison to everybody else? Well, because we tried to make him out of parts of 17 different things. And it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. MacGyver can do that kind of stuff. For those of you that know, I probably shouldn't use MacGyver. It's an old reference, and B, it's one that most of you probably don't even remember. But anyway, you can try and put these things together. But unless you know what you're doing, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be sloppy. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be misfit. And therefore, there's going to be a lot of gaps. And people are going to fall right through those gaps. Your leads that you work so hard to bring in are going to fall right through to the bottom. Because there's too many openings. There's too many gaps. There's too many places for them to sneak out of the funnel. All of this to say, don't hire me. Okay, seriously, don't hire me. If I don't resonate with you, if my voice doesn't make sense to you, if the way that I explain things doesn't fit, if you're not getting any kind of value listening to what I've got to say every day, don't hire me. Right? The last thing in the world I want is bad money coming into my business. In other words, I don't want somebody becoming a client and then being so disappointed in the results because we weren't a good fit, that they're out there talking negatively about me. I would rather have no money come in than have bad money come in, because I know that after no money, there's more money. It will come. I can wait for the good deal to come through. I don't have to take every single client just to hope to make rent. Don't do that. Don't hire me, but find a coach. Find somebody who's been there before, who's been successful. Find somebody who can show you the way, who can not only help you put a process in place, but can explain it in a way that is so dirt simple that you can grasp it, put it together, implement it, and benefit from it. If I'm that coach, fantastic. But find a coach. Find somebody who can guide you. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, Jake, I can't afford a coach, there's a couple things that I need you to see. Number one, there's free advice out there. There's free help. All right. You could come here. We're here literally every day from 11 to 1, 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern, New York time for anybody outside the US. You can come join us and you can get advice all day long if you want, free of charge. My treat. Happy to do that. Happy to help you. You could, if you wanted to, go to YouTube and do all of that work. That's free too. Again, I think I've talked you out of that. I hope I've talked you out of that, because collecting answers from 17 people and trying to put it all together into one cohesive unit is never going to work. But you could do it. If you're in the United States, you could look up your local SBDC, Sierra, Bravo, Delta, Charlie. SBDC stands for Small Business Development Center. And in the US, at most major colleges, they have on campus an office that is the SBDC. They're all over the place. They don't have to be in college towns, but most of them are anyway. They're attached to the college because they're a federal program. But the SBDC is a nonprofit program put together by the Small Business Administration, where you as a business owner can schedule an appointment, go in, and have them coach you absolutely free. Now, they're not going to be as hands-on as I might, or as another coach that you have to pay might. They're going to have a lot of clients that they're dealing with, and they're going to have a very broad range of knowledge. It's a phenomenal starting point. If you have no other way to get started, it's a great starting point. They can help you put together a business plan. They can help you put together your marketing program. I mean, you name it, whatever you need help with, they can assist you or direct you to the right resources. And it's all at no cost. If you would rather have a little bit more one-on-one personal time with somebody who's more of a mentor than a coach, you can do that too. There's another program called SCORE, SCORE, the Service Corps of Retired Executives. Now, I don't know if SCORE is outside of the US or not. I know the SBDC is a US-based program. I know that in Canada, there are other programs like these. I know that in other countries in Europe, there are other programs like these in each country. So you can find all of this. But SCORE, just to go back to this, is the Service Corps of Retired Executives, is exactly that. It's retired business owners, retired entrepreneurs who take office hours, and you can come in and they'll work with you on building your business. The challenge there, and the reason that I mentioned them second, is because they do have experience in running a business, but they have an experience in running their business in their industry. And if you're not in their industry, the advice is still good, don't get me wrong, but is it specific enough? At the beginning, maybe, but as you grow, not as much. You're going to need more help than that, right? So there's a couple of free resources right off the bat that you can go look for. And again, if you're not in North America, look in your own country and find out, free business coaching services, government coaching program, whatever. Search for it, find it. Equivalent to the SBDC in the US. What is the equivalent here? And you'll find them. They're there to help you. Entrepreneurship helps everybody. And just about every country in the world wants to promote entrepreneurship. So they help. They provide these resources. But there's something else that you need to look at. Like I said earlier, eventually you're going to need more help than what a volunteer retired executive or a nonprofit program like the SBDC are going to be able to provide. You're going to need more one-on-one. You're going to need closer contact. You're going to want to be able to ask questions quickly rather than having to wait 6 weeks for an appointment. At some point, I think every business owner should have a coach. It only makes sense. But let's bring it back to the topic of the day. The topic is the cost of inaction, the cost of doing nothing. You know, whatever business you're in, and it doesn't matter, this is pretty much universal. Whatever your business industry might be, as we go through the process of building our business, what you're going to find is that that business needs very specific help. You're also going to find, regardless of industry, that you are spending money you don't realize you're spending. All right, let's rephrase that. You're not spending the money, you're losing money. I want you to imagine you carry all your cash around in your pocket, and there's a hole in your pocket. It's not a huge hole, but it's large enough. And the coins and the bills are slowly but surely falling out. You don't even recognize it. You don't even see it. It's so slow. It's so minimal. Doesn't seem like it's anything. But in the end, when you really look at it, when you really add it up and realize how much is gone, it's devastating. Absolutely devastating. Case in point, if you don't know how to solve a problem, pick any problem. Matter of fact, let's get specific here. Let's get specific to you. All right. I want you to imagine right now. I don't think you have to imagine real hard. I think you already know the answer to this. But I want you to imagine the one obstacle in your way, the one thing slowing your business development right now. Just picture in your head for a second. If you're not driving, if you're able to, close your eyes for a second and just picture the obstacle. Feel what it feels like in your gut to think about that obstacle. Whatever that obstacle is, does not matter. Whatever it is, it's costing you money, right? If that obstacle was out of the way, I could be more successful. If I could figure out how to do this, I'd be making more money. If I could figure out how to eliminate this problem, people would buy easily, quickly, and I'd be making as much money as I need to make. Sound familiar? So here's what I want you to do. Now that we've internalized that, now that we've taken on that challenge of identifying that obstacle that's in our way, here comes the hard part. And we talked about this on Monday a little bit, but you need to do a little bit of math here. I know nobody loves doing a little bit of math, but it's simple math. I need you to figure out how much money is that obstacle costing you every month. In other words, how much money are you leaving on the table month after month after month after month because this problem still exists? And we're just talking about one problem. You might have 2, 3, 4 or more obstacles. But pick one, doesn't matter. Pick the one that you think is the most in your way and go from there. How much money are you leaving on the table because of that obstacle? All right. Now, you've got that number in your head. I hope you write it down. Better yet, I hope you grab your calculator and you put it in the calculator. Whatever that number is, just own it for a few seconds. I know it's going to frustrate you. It's going to make you feel sick to your stomach. I get that. I understand that. But I want you to feel it. Now, I want you to answer this. How long has this issue been in your way? How long has this obstacle been slowing you down? Days, weeks, months, years, decades? Could be anything. Hey, Melissa and Jan, good to see you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Glad you guys could join us. So once you've identified the challenge and you've identified how much it's costing you every month, and you've identified how long it's been going on, multiply those two things. The amount of money you're losing every month or you're leaving on the table. Let's stay there. Let's stay with leaving on the table because I think that's a comfortable term for everybody. All right. Once you know how much money you're leaving on the table every month, or you have a good idea, you may not know exactly, but give it a good idea. Multiply that times the number of months that this has been an issue for you. I'll wait, do the math. How much money are you leaving on the table because of the obstacles in front of you? And how long has that been going on? Multiply those two numbers and what do you get? What you get is a number that's much larger than you thought it was, number one. But that's how much money you're leaving on the table every single month, which means you're leaving money on the table every week, every day, every hour. You're leaving money on the table. Far too much for far too long. Yeah, that's what most of us would say. Until we figure this out, that's what most of us would say. But once we figure this out, you'll never say it again. You'll never say it again because as soon as you identify a problem, you'll immediately realize what it's going to cost you to keep that problem. And here's the beauty of it. You're going to find that the solution costs less than the problem loses. Okay? The solution, whatever your issue is, whatever problem you're talking about, whatever obstacle you're thinking of right now, whatever it is, the solution is less expensive than the money you're leaving on the table. How do I know that for a fact? Because otherwise, if it wasn't, everybody would be out of business. Entrepreneurs wouldn't be able to exist. What is an entrepreneur? We solve a problem, right? We're somebody who identifies a problem that a lot of people have, and we solve that problem for them at a price that makes sense. So whatever your problem is, whatever your obstacle is, whatever's holding you back, the solution kind of has to, if a solution exists, it has to be a better value to get that solution, no matter what it costs, than to continue month after month after month after month after month, year after year, leaving that money on the table. That's money that should and could have been yours. I know it never hit your pocket, so it's not like you lost it. But it was yours. It was gifted to you. It was put on the table, and you got up from the table and walked away from it. And somebody else picked it up. Or the original owner picked it up and put it back in their pocket and said, yeah, I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to spend any money then. Regardless of what the challenge is, the solution is less expensive than the obstacle. Why? Because the solution is a one-time thing typically. I solved the problem. If the problem comes back, okay, I know what to do now. Whereas having the problem, having the obstacle in front of you and not doing anything about it means it's just going to perpetuate. It's just going to be there. And it's going to be there forever. If you think for 1 second that that obstacle is just going to poof, go away, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. It doesn't work that way. And you know it. You know it doesn't work that way. You can't ignore the problem away. In fact, the longer you ignore it, the worse it's going to get. Right? Think about this for a second. Jan, I want to come to what you said there in the chat, but before I do that real quickly, I just want you to think about this for a second. Think about that obstacle. And think about the first month that that obstacle presented itself and how much money you left on the table that month. I would be willing to bet that everybody, if you're really doing this exercise with me, if you're actually doing this work with me, I'd be willing to bet that almost everybody would say that their first month left on the table was much smaller than the most current month left on the table. Why? because your business is growing. You're getting better. You're doing more, which means you could have been making more. So the longer we go, the worse the problem is going to get. Again, we're talking about from the perspective of, you know, the obstacle there, the money left on the table. So Jan says approximately 9K a month. 9K a month. Now let's think about that for a second. All right. So I don't know what the challenge is. Oh, actually, I do. I do. Jan mentioned it up above. She mentioned it was her health. Okay. That's a little bit different. Or it's a lot different, actually. But let's think about this for a second. Let's cut that in half. Let's not talk about 9K because I think that's a ridiculously high number, right? In her case, it's accurate. In your case, that might be really small. You might be saying my number is much larger than that, but I still want to be super conservative here. Let's cut that in half. Let's call it 4,500. Let's round it up. Let's make it 5 grand. Okay. We'll round it up 5 grand. If your obstacle is costing you 5 grand a month, now imagine your business is going to continue to grow. And so the money you leave on the table is going to continue to grow. So instead of it being 5,000, it's going to be 5,000 plus 10%. And then what's 10% of 5,000? 50 bucks? 500 bucks. Good Lord. Mathing. Now we're looking at 5,500 plus 10%. So there's another 550 bucks that goes in there. And then another 10% and another 10%. And it just keeps growing. That $1,000 problem that you have today is a $3,000 problem waiting in the wings. It's going to get worse, not better. So if we've got a $5,000 problem, and it's going to cost you $5,000 this month, and it's going to cost you $5,000 next month, let's just say for a year, it's going to cost you 60 grand. You're going to leave 60, again, let's not say cost, okay, because it's not an expense you're paying out of your pocket. I want you to realize that. But that's $60,000 in revenue that could and should have been in your bank account as opposed to wherever the hell it ended up. You didn't get it. If I came to you right now and I said, listen, if you had all the money in the world, that's all the money in the world. Let's say you've got 6 months of cash reserves in the bank. All right. You've got a war chest. You've got a safety net. You've got some savings. And I show you that you have a $60,000 a year problem. If I come in and tell you that I will fix that problem for $60,000, is that a good deal? It's a great deal because I'm going to fix that problem for you. And next year, you're not going to lose that 60 grand. You're going to make it instead. And the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. And you can start adding those 10% onto that as well because you're going to continue to grow. Even if it costs the exact same. Hell, let's say it costs 3 times that. Instead of $60,000, now I'm going to charge you $180,000 for the fix. Is that a bargain? Well, again, think about this for a second. After 3 years, you've made your money back, and now everything else is revenue. If I showed you that as an investment, if I told you, look, put $1,000 in the bank and just let it sit there, not the bank, buy this investment, spend $1,000 on this stock, on this mutual fund, and in the end, that $1,000 is going to pay you $6,000 a month for the rest of your life. Would you do it? Of course you would. It's an investment. It only makes sense. I don't know what that obstacle that you're talking about or that you're thinking about right now is. And I don't know what industry or what type of an expert you need to solve that problem. Maybe you need a coach. I'd love to talk with you. Maybe you need a graphic designer. Maybe you need a copywriter. Maybe you need a web developer. Whatever it is, whoever it is that can solve that problem, find a way, get that problem solved because it's going to make you more money. Plain and simple. You will make more money in the long run because you fixed the problem. Now, let's be perfectly blunt, right? If you've got a $60,000 problem and I come to you and I say, hey, listen, I can solve it for 5 grand. Number one, that's a phenomenal return, isn't it? 12 to 1. And that's only in year one. After that, it's 100%, right? I mean, it's just growth. It's just pure, unadulterated growth with no liability attached to it because you've solved the problem. But let's say I came to you and I said, okay, you got a $60,000 a year problem. It's going to continue to bleed $60,000 out of your, potential every year until you fix it. I can fix it for you right now for 5 grand. How many people have 5 grand lying around that they're willing to invest in putting their problem behind them? How many people, even if they, if they had to pay for something, if your car died, if the taxes came due, if $5,000 had to be paid right now, how many people could drop 5 grand on a solution? It's not everybody, but there are solutions out there. And what if I told you that the solution that you're talking about doesn't have to be 5 grand all at once? Maybe it's only 3 grand. Maybe it's only 2 grand. Maybe it's only $1,000. Maybe it's a small amount every month. So you can afford it. So you can afford to take on the challenge. What would that be worth? You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. But the one thing that I would not do is ignore it. Okay? Let's just do this very simple process. Let's go. You know how to schedule an appointment? Go ahead. Again, for those of you watching on YouTube, schedule an appointment. Go right into the direction or into the description of this video, and you'll see a link to schedule some time. Let's talk. But I want you to do this with me. Okay? I want you to do this with me, and I really mean it. All right? You might not have done the other stuff before, but I really want you to do this work with me right now. It'll only take a couple seconds. Okay? I want you to figure out what problem, what obstacle we're talking about. You probably already did it, but I want you to come up with that obstacle in your head. Really cement it in there. If you're driving, pull over for a minute. It's worth it. It'll take you 60 seconds. But think, what is the issue? What's the real obstacle that I'm facing? Okay? Just picture it for a second. Just think about it for a second. Once you know what the obstacle is, now I want you to imagine that there's an industry that can solve your problem for you. For example, if your issue is, like we said before, my graphic design stuff sucks. I need a rebrand. I need everything to look better. I need to, improve my color scheme. I need to, whatever. Okay. Then the answer to step 2 is graphic designer, artist, graphic artist, somebody who can help me do those things, somebody who can solve that problem. All right. Whatever the problem you're facing, I don't have enough time in my day. I can't get all the work done. I need, more capacity. Okay. There are business coaches that can help you. That's my specialty. I can help you. Whatever that industry is, I just need you to see what industry you need an expert in. Once you've done that, promise me one thing, because it's going to make you money. I want you to go find out what it would cost to hire somebody to help you with your problem. Just go ask. Ask 5 people. Research it. Go ask 5 people. If I worked with you, what would it cost me? Get on a discovery call with 5 people. What's that going to take you? 30 minutes each? 2 hours, 2.5 hours total? Are you willing to invest 2.5 hours to possibly find the solution to your problem? to get yourself off of that hamster wheel, running as fast as you can and not getting anywhere. Reach out to that graphic designer, reach out to that copywriter, reach out to that web designer, reach out to that coach, reach out to that banker, reach out to that investment firm, whatever it is, and get some quotes. Find out what it's going to cost. Two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to realize very quickly that, again, the solution costs far less than the problem costs you. The solution is far smaller in number than the money you're leaving on the table day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Incredibly lower, infinitesimally lower, especially the longer the problem goes on. But here's the added benefit of talking to 5 people and asking 5, go to 3. Okay, go ask 3 people. Get quotes from 3 different people in that industry. The added benefit, though, is that you get to hear how they work. You get to figure out which one of these might be closest to a good match for me. Who do I see eye to eye with? Who do I understand? Who understands me? Who makes this simple, clear, concise? Who do I truly believe is going to be able to help me get over, around, through, under, whatever, this obstacle? I'll bet you what you're going to find is that the solution is actually affordable. You're just afraid to look at the numbers because you don't want to spend money to get there. But I'd be willing to bet that every single problem that anybody in this room, anybody on this YouTube, or anybody that listens to this later, I'd be willing to bet that virtually all of you have problems that are not only solvable, easily solvable, and affordably solvable. You're just not looking deep enough. Keep looking until you find somebody that matches your, not just your obstacle need, but your financial need. There's somebody out there that can help you. Some faster than others, some more efficiently than others, some more effectively than others. But get somebody on the case. What would happen if I said to you, look, you've got a $5,000 a month problem. I can't fix all of it, but I can fix about $1,000 worth of that problem. I can get you an extra $1,000 a month by doing this to your problem, by applying this knowledge, this expertise, this talent, whatever, to your obstacle. Okay, we can't fix the whole thing. But if that's what you can afford right now, then jump in. Get that help. Get that $1,000 coming in every month. They're not going to charge you $1,000 to get you $1,000. There's no way. That doesn't make sense. That's not an entrepreneur trying to solve a business problem. Figure out what the problem is. Figure out how much of the solution you can afford. And immediately take action. Don't wait. Don't screw around. Don't dawdle. Because every single minute you waste is another minute of money being left on the table. Every minute that you spend not reaching out to whoever is another minute, another day, another week that you're not getting the help, that money's being left on the table. It is the cost of doing nothing. It's the money you leave on the table. And I'm just going to tell you right now, the easiest way to get wealthy in this country, in the world, I think, the easiest way, safely, legally, affordably, to become wealthy is to stop leaving opportunities behind. Stop leaving money on the table. Find ways to close that gap to make sure that every penny comes in. You don't need 50,000 clients. You need enough clients to make the money you want to make. And you need to increase your capacity so that you can make more money in less time. Does that make sense? That's what I want to see for everybody here. And again, it's not about become my client. Yeah, of course I want you to be my client if we're a good fit for one another. And again, if you're listening in on the YouTubes, you can go right down below. Everybody here on the Zoom call already knows me and is already working with me in one way or another. So I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking about everybody that's watching on the YouTubes. Okay? Don't hire me if I'm not the right guy. Don't hire me if I'm not a good fit. Don't hire me if you don't think that I can help you put that money in your pocket. Don't hire that graphic designer. Don't hire that copywriter. Don't hire that web development person. Don't hire that ad agency if you don't think that they're a good fit. But when you find the fit, you've got to find a way to take advantage of that opportunity. It's where the loss is. It's where the bleeding occurs. It's what's holding you back from having everything that you've dreamed about. I wish it was more difficult than that, but it's not. And anybody that tells you differently is lying to you because they're trying to sell you something else. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a chamber of commerce professional, a trade association professional, no matter what you do, no matter what your job role is, no matter what business organization you work with or work for, you, your organization must solve a problem. That problem must be something that a good number of people, enough that you can find the clients, are willing to pay, and a solution that's affordable enough that they can and will. Otherwise, you're done. The exact same thing, other side of the coin now, right? So here you are as an entrepreneur trying to make sure that you're solving this problem for the ideal customer. Understand that's what every business owner is doing. Every single business owner out there is trying to solve a problem for you. Question is, are you ready to take the help? Are you ready to move past the plateau? Because that's what's going on. Most of us are at this level right here. I don't know where this is. This is good. This is bad. This is great. This is terrible. I don't know. This is making a lot of money. This is making no money. I don't know. Wherever on the spectrum this is. But we're all wherever we are. My guess is that this is not the dream. Matter of fact, if you're still listening to me, this can't be the dream. Right? Your current state cannot be the dream if you're still paying any attention to me at this point. Your dream has got to be higher. Otherwise, why the hell would you be listening to me? Your goal has got to be higher. When you started your business, your vision was way up here, not here. Are you going to settle? Are you going to be satisfied here? Plus a little bit. You're going to grow. Don't get me. I mean, you don't need any help to continue to grow, but you're going to grow incredibly slowly on your own, whereas you could grow incredibly quickly with the right person on your team to help you. I'm about to get kicked off. Just so that you guys are aware, I don't know why, but almost every single day at exactly this time,
Melissa, I saw you hopped out. It's Jay. Every day at the same time this happens.
I wasn't sure. I was like, well, let me hop out and hop back in
Yeah.
and see if it makes a difference.
Yeah, I saw you hop out. He'll be back.
Okay.
I told you. I don't know why that's happening. If somebody can do some research, you know what? That's what. Just like you, I have an obstacle. This is my obstacle right here. I don't know why this is happening. It's happening every day at the same time. It's 12:18 every single day, almost. Somebody fix this for me. Somebody come to me with a solution. Somebody tell me what the hell is going wrong. Please, please find a solution for me. If you know somebody who's an expert, IT, YouTube, whatever, Zoom, that's probably Zoom, it's not YouTube. Zoom, IT, whatever. Find that person and ask them what the hell is going on so we can fix this. Pain in the ass. Anyway, we're back. And it won't cut off again. I'll be fine the rest of the way through. Who knows why? Guys, the bottom line is what my coach, my first coach told me the day we met. What my first coach told me before she was even my coach, I believe is true not only for me, but for all of us. If you don't ask for help, you're not going to hit the goal. You're not going to get where you're going. You're certainly not going to get there quickly. What you're doing right now is running around in circles with a blindfold on in the middle of the desert, hoping to find an oasis. That's no way to run a business. Hope, luck, fear, guess, gut. That's not how you run a business. Not if you want it to be successful. Can a business be successful when it relies on those things? Yes, of course it can. Every once in a while, dumb luck. Case in point, I've talked about this with you guys before, but you're going to laugh at me. But perfect case in point is an item that was created years ago. Matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can find it here real quickly for you. Well, would you look at that? I found it for you pretty easily, actually. Let's see here. All I want is the image. Just show me the image. Doggone it. I'm trying to find one for you. There it is. That's perfect. That's perfect. Now, let me show you this. All right. See that? That is an actual item. This is a real damn thing. Okay? This is a real thing. You can buy a pet rock. Some guy made millions of dollars on this deal. It comes with a guide to care and training of your pet rock. It comes with, well, the original, it used to come with, instead of that brown paper, it used to come, as I recall, with like that green, like Easter grass, right? That plasticky, so it looked like grass, so that your pet rock had a little nest. And it comes in a box with holes, so your pet rock can breathe on his way to you. Pretty crazy. Important. Open box carefully. Do not remove rock before reading instructions. This box contains one genuine pedigreed pet rock. Here's what I want you to see, though. This right here is what I want you to see. This right here. $30 for a rock in a box. That's luck. That's just dumb luck. It's just dumb, but it's dumb luck. He sold millions of these things. Novelties that, I mean, nobody did anything with, I can't imagine, but they bought them. They bought them as gifts. They gave them as gifts, and that was it. It was this funny, whatever, part of the zeitgeist now. That has become so unbelievably popular. Now, this is going back to the 70s when this thing first came out. I want to show you something else here real quick, because I think you're going to enjoy this. Let's see here. Two seconds. Let me pull it up. All right, you ready for this? This should be fun. I did a search on Facebook for pet rock. And here's what I got. Here are groups. Okay. These are groups of people who have come together to talk about their pet rocks. Again, this is something that was popular in the 70s, 50 years ago. And look at this. 481 members. They only do 10 posts a year. That's probably a dead group. But look at this. Not just a pet rock. 23,000 members. Oh, that's ball pythons. Never mind. That's not what we're looking for. But look at how many pet rock groups there are. Look at what people have done. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should be in the pet rock business, but if you had a pet rock business and you wanted to make, I don't know, little tiny blankets with initials, for the pet rock's name that you could cover the pet rock up in, or Halloween costumes for your pet rock. Think about all of the different people that might possibly be interested in your offer. We can find them no matter what. We can find them. They're there. Okay, not all of these are as these are not really about pet rock, some of them, but many of them are. Pet Rock is a short film about a boy and his journey to finding French. Good Lord. Look at what these people have done. Pet Rock Entertainment. The point is that no matter what you're trying to accomplish, there's somebody out there that is already doing it, already knows how to do it, has already done it. Yes, luck plays in, but how many of those stories are there? How many pet rock stories could there possibly be where somebody makes something so stupid and everybody just snaps it up? You'll see that stuff on the As Seen on TV commercials or QVC, right? Items that are just so simple that everybody's going to want, that you just kind of got lucky. You got in front of the right people, they put you on QVC. You got right in front of the right people, they put you on, As Seen on TV. It's 1 in a million. And while you are unique, the chances of you finding that opportunity, being that lucky, are slim to none. So let's quit relying on luck. Let's quit relying on gut. Let's quit relying exclusively on our instincts. Let's quit relying on faith. Let's quit. Again, I'm not saying don't have faith. I'm not saying don't be hopeful. I'm saying that we need to take actions in order to get more lucky, right? The more I do, the luckier I get. The more things I do correctly, the luckier I get. The more things I do poorly, the unluckier I seem to be. Wonder why that is. You make your own luck. I want you to just imagine for a second, we've been talking about this one obstacle that's in front of you. Imagine you've got 6 or 7 obstacles, all in the same category, but different. Could you fix multiple obstacles? Could you eliminate multiple obstacles at once for the same price? Could you find one solution that solves 3 different problems? You bet you can. Just take some batching. You bet. The ripple effect is real. Melissa, you want to talk to us about the ripple effect?
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at, specifically my own problem, my own obstacle in my business. And probably one of the biggest obstacles that I face is hiring. And as I work to hire and staff, I also recognize that, there are other underlying issues that go behind, and typically when you're looking at your business and how you can make it better, you can typically point at yourself and point the finger at what you're doing. So one thing that I'm looking at is, in addition to finding the right hires, is going back to the training process and how is the training process look from an employee journey perspective, and be able to take that from literally the day that they put in an application to the day that they are hired to, what does our first set of training look like? How long does that training take place? And just really getting all of those things put into proper place, I think would have a much longer lasting effect on, how the employees take you as a entrepreneur, how they look at your business. Do they take you serious? Do they take you for, a lot of times I fall into that imposter syndrome, is my business strong enough? Do I have everything that I need in order to be a business? And oftentimes, because we're always seeking out that next level, we never feel that full bit of gratification. And so it's really not until we are able to stop and look at that employee journey, that customer journey, and really feel what it looks like for them on the other side, to really stand up to measure up the way that you want to in society.
I mean, it's a great series of points. One thing that I would say, and because you brought a problem, you said this is the obstacle I'm facing right now, and full transparency, I am Melissa's business coach. All right, Melissa is a member of my group coaching program and has been for many months now. As your coach, I cannot hear that and not respond to it. One thing that I would strongly recommend that you and I do is take a look at the job description, not the job description, but the post. The way that the job is written up, right? Where you're marketing it, what it says. Because my guess is the vast majority of the issue, the biggest part of the issue here is you're attracting the wrong people in. It's not your training. You train like a monster. I know you do, right? You're training your people upside down. There's no question you're doing that. Now, could it be better in some cases? Sure. And you are on a road to continuous improvement, which is phenomenal. But let's take a look at the actual ad that we're placing for help. And let's see if maybe that's part of the issue. You've made some pretty significant changes to your business over the last 6 months. And this might be an area where you're utilizing old recruiting tactics with a new business. And those two things are going to butt heads more often than not. So I would take a look at that and let's just see. We might want to use ChatGPT. We could use some artificial intelligence there to figure out, okay, I want you to take this and I want you to make it better. I want you to make it more exciting. I want it to go to a better class of that's the wrong way to say that. I want this to go to a more appropriate group of people. I want this to be attractive to people that maybe it's not attractive to right now. Here are the people I'm looking for. Fix this. Maybe we go to a copywriter. Maybe we get somebody who's, expert in business writing and let them help us.
Yeah, I love that suggestion. And I think that, really being able to open up that. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I'm not attracting the people that I want. When I am getting applicants, they are not who I'm looking for. So when I was thinking about, what are some ways that I can, really look through the solution, is looking at the number one, the places that I'm posting. Number two, looking at, who I'm using to host. I have not tried using job recruiters. And so that's something that, you were kind of talking about, what price are you willing to pay to solve your problem? And I've always kind of ran from that because I didn't want to spend money to try to attract people in. But at the same time, that may be money that I'm leaving on the table because I haven't gone that route, because I'm not willing to invest the money, because I am leaving myself at that point. So opening that avenue and looking at, okay, if I went down this avenue, what's the worst case scenario? One, I either find some good recruits, or two, I don't, and I go ahead and cut it out, and I maybe have a short loss for a short time. But the cost of not trying is even more expensive than trying. So I love the avenue, and just kind of thinking outside of the boxes to different directions that that maybe will work.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know that necessarily going the route of recruiters or staffing agencies necessarily, but you're in Abilene, Texas. Is there not a military presence in Abilene, Texas?
Absolutely, there is.
Yeah. So here's one thing that I can tell you. If I want to find people that I know are going to show up for work, people that are going to be dependable, people that are going to be able to pass a drug test, people that are, that are going to do the job, I might consider looking at spouses, military spouses in that community. I might want to start marketing that way, because here's a simple way to get, people who you can count on. To me, I think it makes a ton of sense. But we've got to look at different options, different ways to get there.
Yeah, and so one way that I've recently shifted is I had a staffing problem. And so one thing that I did that has made a bit of a difference is, originally I was looking for somebody full time, somebody that I can put into place and utilize on a regular basis. I need somebody a full 40 hours a week, whatever the case may be. But I have actually just recently hired 3 new hires, all part time. And even though I'm having to do a little bit more on the scheduling side and making sure that, we're staffed appropriately all the way across the board, it has made a difference. I thought it was going to be more work, but it kind of seems that it keeps people from being burnt out. It just gives them that little bit of that, enough hours to get by. There's more hours, obviously, if they'd like them. So there's opportunity to grow there, but it seems to be working a little bit better. So, putting that part-time into the copy as well, I think is going to make a big difference. And, since I see it working, I'm going to continue to try to maneuver in this direction moving forward also.
Well, and I think that message is going to resonate with those military wives too. I should say military spouses, is not necessarily female only, but I think it's going to resonate with those military spouses. The opportunity to work a couple of hours without having to have a full-time job. The opportunity to kind of make my own hours, and have somebody who needs me place me where they need me when I'm available, but I can still be home to take care of the kids when they get home from school, or whatever. I think it's a really, really cool opportunity. And you and I both know a wonderful military spouse who might be a good influence, or a good somebody to speak to, who can help us with the word tracking, because not only is she a military spouse, but she's also a copywriter and a writing expert. Might be worth, not this week, I know she's out of town and busy, but I would reach out to Casey and have that conversation, because I think that that's somebody that is going to know all of this. Both sides of the spectrum, and is going to be able to tell you, well, this is how it works. This is, you need to go to this office. There are support systems all over the base, and there's a support system for the military spouses. I don't remember what it's called, but it exists. So, reaching out there and letting the military help you fill those slots, I think you're going to find some rock stars potentially. Change your business and it won't cost you a penny.
I love that, Jay.
Good deal. Good deal. Guys, that's what we do. That's what this is all about. It's about trying to find simple solutions to complex problems. It's about having the experience to be able to come up with an answer, a solution on the fly to common problems that exist. I'd like to ask you to do a couple things for me. You know, we're here every day. We spend an hour and a half, 2 hours every single day, Monday through Friday anyway, weekdays, from 11 a.m. typically until 1 p.m. That's Eastern time, New York time for those of you outside the US. If you're listening, if you're watching this on YouTube, I need you to do 4 things for me. I'm begging you to do 4 things for me. Okay. If you're not watching this on YouTube, by the way, go find it on YouTube after the fact and do this. 4 things. It'll take you 40 seconds. All right. Number 1, right down below, hit the subscribe button. All right. Subscribe so that you get this podcast every single weekday. You get access. All right. Subscribe. Number 2, give the video a like. Comment, make a comment on the video. I don't care what the comment is. If you're getting value out of this session, if you're here still this late in the game, something has rang true for you. Rung true? Whatever. I want you to post whatever that is. Make your comment. Tell me what you're getting out of it. Tell me what questions you have. I'll answer them right there in the video, or I'll reach out to you directly and answer one-on-one. And the last thing is to share the video out. If you found value in what we're doing here today, if this conversation paid off, then please share this link out there, post it out to the people that you know, like, and trust. Send it out on social media, send it out via email, and send it out as a gift. Don't just send it out there with nothing. Send it out there as a gift from you. Hey guys, I sat through this training today. It was $10,000 worth of value. I've got permission from the presenter to share this with my contacts, my friends, my connections. Send it out. Tell them what to expect. Tell them what to look for. Tell them why you're sending it. What did you think was so valuable that they need to catch? What's the 1 or 2 most important pieces that you want to make sure they hear? It'll take you a total of 40 seconds to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And it would be a huge, huge thank you from me to you if you would do those 4 simple things. With that, we are going to shut her down. I'm going to be available online for about another hour or so. If anybody needs me, you guys know how to reach me. I'm jay@jayhandler.com, or you can reach me on any of the social media outlets that you choose. I'm Jay Handler everywhere, @JAY Handler, HANDLER. Come find me, shoot me a message, tell me what's going on in your business, and let me help. Let me help. Whether you become a client or not is not really relevant at this point. Let me help. Let's see if I can find a way to help you and what that looks like. And at the end of that conversation, if you want, we can talk about what it might look like for us to work together. But that's up to you, if we're a good fit. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, wherever you are. Go do something positive for your business, 1 small step every single day at a minimum. And remember, if there's an obstacle in your way, you can overcome it. The quickest, the fastest, the most effective, most efficient way to do that is to ask for some damn help. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.